Hello, everyone. I'm Brian.
Hello, everyone. I'm Valise, Dr. Valise from Gentian General Hospital.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Ffion Dr. I practice in the UK, but I'm here as the president of the International Federation for Emergency Medicine.
Hello, my name is Saleh Al-Ali. I'm the president-elect of IFEM from the United Arab Emirates.
Okay. So today we have our big shot in IFEM, but I mean for some Asian doctors, emergency physicians, they maybe do not know both of you well. And can you tell us more about yourself?
Okay, so I'm Ffion, and that's a strange name for some people, but that's because I come from Wales, which is on the west side of the UK. And my journey through IFEM was to come to the ICEM conferences, which is the conference of the IFEM, and then thought, oh, this is good, this is interesting. And then I joined a special interest group, and I became the chair of the special interest group, and then I joined a committee, and then ended up on the board and ended up as president. So it was just one of those journeys where people say to you, well, why don't you do that? And you say, oh, okay, I'll try. Mm-hmm. And that's hopefully what this conference brings, is that feeling that I can get involved, I can do this. So that was my journey to being president 2 years ago. And I have 2 days left and handing over to...
Yeah, so again, I'm Saleh. My journey with IFEM been for over 10 years now. So I founded the Emirates Emergency Medicine Society, or the Emergency Society of Emergency Medicine, ICEM, in the United Arab Emirates back in 2012. And since then, like a national society, we've joined IFEM. And since then, we've been working very closely with them, participating in committees and different meetings. And we hosted ICEM back in 2021. It was the only virtual meeting due to COVID. Oh, okay. And I had the pleasure of being elected as a president-elect. In 2 days, I'll start taking over from the big president.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's very, yesterday at the opening ceremony, some doctors from Taiwan asked, who's that beautiful blonde lady and what is she representing for? Because most of us only know ICEM, but we don't know IFEM. But then later I check on website, it's a huge organization and it's doing a lot. And you have a lot of positive and great perspective for the future and for right now. So I want to know more about it. I think everyone wants to know more about it.
Okay, well, the ICEM is the conference, which is annual. Used to be 2 years, now annual. And we move around the world, so we partner with the local society. So IFEM, the federation, is a federation model. So the actual members who belong to IFEM are the national societies or regional societies. So it's not the individual emergency physician. And that's why very often, a lot of places I travel in the world, people say, I don't really know very much about IFEM, but they know about the ICEM because they come as a delegate. So the conference rotates around the world. So we were in the UAE in 2021, and then in 2019 we're in Korea, and in 2014 we're in Hong Kong. So you see us from time to time coming in and saying hi, but it's a global federation, and its purpose and the vision and the mission is advocacy for the specialty. Have you noticed if you say what you do, a lot of people don't really understand your job?
Right.
And you have to explain you work in the emergency room.
A lot.
Exactly,
Yes.
Exactly. And people think that the doctors and nurses are random doctors from the hospital, and you say, no, I'm trained to do this emergency stuff.
I actually feel good that you say that. I thought it's only Taiwan's issue.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's all over the world. So IFEM helps to describe what we do, the purpose we serve, and the World Health Organization's got a beautiful pictogram that shows illness and injury through to an ambulance, through to the front door of a hospital. And we have to help explain that. And they say when they arrive at the hospital, you want someone who's got the right skills and training, and that's nursing and medical. Now, we are a medical professional federation, but obviously everything in emergency medicine is teamwork, right? So we include the nurses in everything that we try to advocate for. So maybe not all the listeners know the word advocate, but to advocate is to promote, engage, and support. And that's what we do for emergency medicine. So that's a long way to say what we do politically, but maybe we can give you some examples of what we actually do or what is useful.
Maybe I'll also add absolutely to what Dr. Ffion mentioned. I think what IFEM is doing is basically what you just mentioned. A lot of people don't know what emergency medicine, not within the emergency medicine community, but in medicine or in the wider community. So what we realize now, by bringing all the national societies and the regional societies, we are sharing the same issues: overcrowding of emergency medicine, education, as Dr. Ffion mentioned, in terms of advocacy. So IFEM is becoming more of the one umbrella for all the national and regional societies, sharing issues, sharing problems, and sharing solutions. One region of the world is doing something much better than the other, and that's where IFEM is connecting the dots. And so we're becoming, hopefully, a problem-solving hub for emergency medicine, and how can we help each other to resolve the daily issues that we face.
And a great example of that was a campaign that we ran about 18 months ago for overcrowding. And we asked all our presidents of the societies, do you suffer with the problem of overcrowding? Everybody said yes. So we gathered information, we put out posters, campaigns, things you could use for your hospital management, things you could use for the media, if you wanted to try and engage, radio, TV, social media. And it was really successful. A lot of the people in those countries translated the posters and then went off and promoted them in their country, and it had a really good effect. But since that time, I've gone around the world to different conferences talking about overcrowding, and everyone says, oh, we didn't realize it was not just us. And actually, it's everyone. And then we shared, not the problem, but we started to share the solutions. And here's a good example of practice in Thailand, or here's an example of good practice in the USA or in Chile. And people really engaged and motivated by that because they felt they're not alone and there are solutions out there.
Right. And each country is different because, for example, the past 2 days we talk our own issues with people from different countries, and they have different issues, and also we feel like we also have something in common.
Yes.
And that's what you are doing. Can you also share something that made you feel so achieved during the past 2 years when you are the president?
I think I wanted to be as inclusive as possible and make sure that countries that are either low resource or are early in the stages of development of the specialty could feel like they belong in IFEM, and that we are offering something for them as well as the big nations that have done this for 30 years. So you take like USA or Singapore or UK, it's a very established specialty. But the younger specialties with maybe just like 5-10 emergency physicians, the first people to be trained, they, where do they go to for help? How do they avoid burnout? So trying to encourage people to join IFEM in terms of joining the work that we do has been my main goal. And I think that a good example of what we've been doing, there's a workshop series we're still running, anyone can join, look on the website, for leadership. If you're only one of 10 emergency physicians in a country and the training only started 3 years ago, imagine how you feel in at the deep end. Like, you're the guru, you meant to know what you're doing, set up a department. Imagine how overwhelming that is. Imagine how stressed you start to get, and then you realize you're talking to people who are talking money or talking key performance indicators, and you need to learn a new language and a new skill, and that's what we're trying to do. Otherwise, people burn out. 10 years later, they can't do it any longer.
Right.
And that's where IFEM can contribute by bringing very experienced emergency physicians who actually founded the specialty in their own community or worldwide. We have a lot of international emergency medicine experts who are willing to share that experience into how to develop emergency medicine in your own community, in your own hospital, taking that leadership position. And that's where we're very proud of the activities that have been conducted by IFEM, as Ffion mentioned, throughout the conferences, but also through webinars and publications. We have papers published, standards. The website, as you said, it's rich. But I want to emphasize maybe what Ffion, we have a whole list of things that she's done, honestly, over the past year. And I know she will not mention them, but much of it is just establishing a core staff for IFEM. Because as you said, it's a big organization, big productivity, but it was limited staff. And now we're growing. We increased it from even less than one staff to now over 6 full-time staff who collectively who are helping IFEM progress and reach out to the world. And our mission and vision literally to make sure that we can have a high-quality emergency care to every country as much as possible.
People say to us that we're big on influence and low on engine power.
Yeah.
So we did need to increase the staff.
Yes.
Yeah, because
To go
everyone, this is really important for viewers to know, everyone who's an emergency physician involved in our work is doing it as a volunteer, including the president. So unpaid hours in our own extra time.
So-
yeah.
I need to
Won't that
give you two
burn out
great
for
credit.
yourself.
Tired, not burned
Okay.
out, tired.
Right, but not only facing the general population, even facing the medical system, we still can. Sometimes we cannot even define ourselves, and they don't recognize us a profession as an expertise. Yeah, so this is really hard, and I feel that IFEM is really important to help us, to be more confident in this world, and then the whole medical system cannot live without emergency medicine.
Yes. And then it can help to say, well, this isn't a group of doctors in Taiwan who are crazy people. Actually, this is what they do in the US, this is what they do in Kenya, this is what they do. And actually your politicians and your managers start to listen and think, oh, I understand now, you do have a global community of qualified specialist professions of emergency medicine.
And it's something I've learned in our country as well, listening to other countries and participating in IFEM activities, is that, as you mentioned, the growth of the specialty is a journey. So some people from other countries may be frustrated by the lack of understanding or the lack of recognition of the specialty. But if you look at UK and Canada, USA and Australia, they've gone through a similar journey as well. So looking back, it's just a matter of continuing, being perseverant, and then continuing this journey. And as back to the same point, we are stronger together, and that's a slogan that we always look up from Dr. Ffion on it. We are stronger together by sharing experiences, sharing the momentum, and it becomes much easier for everyone.
So what are the upcoming issues do you think that is globally we are facing for this specialty?
I would say 2 issues. The first one is a degree of negativity and burnout since the pandemic, and a lot of vacancies in the nursing and medical staff.
Yeah.
And everybody's starting to feel negative, and that becomes like a vicious circle spiral down. And I think we all need to celebrate the satisfaction of this career and remind people that actually most people are working in the career, and try to just be more positive about what we do and be proud of what we do. So I think we need to turn the dial a little bit more positive. From a practical point of view, you saw some slides at the opening ceremony, and we see them all the time, the growing elderly population.
Yeah.
This is a huge challenge, and this is a really good political win. How do you deal with a patient with multiple problems who comes with breathlessness or fatigue? Well, you need a generalist, but you need the expert generalist with the investigations, the CT scan, etc., etc. That's what we do best. They have the family doctor if it's less seriously ill. No one else now deals in a holistic general medicine because they're all specialists.
Right.
And that's us. And with a growing population, if you're going to avoid admitting elderly patients who don't need admission, you need us.
Yeah, we are nodding because we are 100% agree, and this is our issue too right now. Yeah, and did you check RER? One of the ER.
I didn't have time to visit
Oh,
yet,
yeah.
but I can see by your population statistics, and it's coming your way soon, it's that, patients that are over 70 and becoming frail is a huge amount of our population, and that's what we do best, because we listen, we hear them, we think of all their problems, and then we try and get it down to what matters today. And we don't care so much for the diagnosis, it's how do I make you feel better? Do you really need to be on hospital? That's us.
Yeah. And I think another challenge to build on that is how do we as emergency medicine be proactive? I think as a specialty, we've been, working with anesthesia, critical care until we identified the specialty. But now, as it matures, we have the responsibility, and now we take it as IFEM, of thinking of the future of emergency medicine, which way it's going. And if you heard the great plenary George Podgorny's lecture yesterday, Dr. Shine mentioned a lot of future planning, how medical technology is evolving. How do we keep up with that? Us as emergency physicians practicing the next generation, how do we teach them? Education has to revolutionize by itself. We cannot do what we've been doing 20 years ago. So all of this poses a challenge on us, but I think a responsibility as well to take it forward, learn from the best, learn from the other specialties, or think outside the box and find a way, how should we learn emergency medicine the new way. If you go to the exhibition here, the marketplace is a wonderful way of
marketplace.
And this is her idea.
Oh, really?
Many years ago. Maybe you
Many
can
years
say
ago.
a little bit about that background, because it's really a very successful idea.
Yeah, and it works so well in the conference setting. So my background is pediatric emergency medicine as well as adult. I'm dual trained, but particularly education and trying to simplify things for people. And what we found was you come to a conference and you know how it feels. You go into a lecture and in 20 minutes you've heard 20 minutes, but only probably 30 seconds was new or something you really wanted to know, right? You know that feeling. You sort of think you're watching your watch go around.
Yeah.
You go to the marketplace and you have 2 experts, 3, 4 experts in their stall, like a real market, and you say, I want a pink apple, right? Because I've never tasted one, or I don't know anything about it. And you get that information straight away. It's adult learning at its best. So you don't have to listen to all the stuff you already knew. Or you'd say, well, what's the difference between pediatric asthma and adult asthma? I know the disease, but what do I need to know that's different? And you go to pediatric asthma lecture, you'll hear 99% what you already know, because actually the difference is 1%. So here you go around all the stalls, all the topics, and you just say to this person, I always wanted to know this, you get it. Or they teach you, you say, can they teach me how to do this practical skill better? You get it. And in 1 hour, you've maxed out on everything you wanted to know.
Well, so it's just like a night market. You can
It's
hand out
shopping.
on everything
It is shopping.
that you put interested in. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is we run this marketplace in ICEM for 2 years. So that is a new thing, right?
Yeah, well, I don't remember. The first time I think we ran it as the South African National Conference back in 2008 or 2010. And then I think every ICEM for the last 10 years has had a marketplace.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people should check that place
Yeah.
in the ICEM
Yeah.
in the first floor.
Yes, so it's just been going on here, but I think it closes soon. But if you do come to Montreal next year, big advert here, please come to Montreal ICEM. We will be doing another marketplace.
And that's what takes us to the future of training and education and how we deliver it. And we take that responsibility with the other national or member organizations as well, as how can we deliver what our colleagues and us as clinicians do need. How can we make it easier? The leadership, the clinical skills, the specialty evolves. How can we bring the cutting edge knowledge to them at their fingertip? That's a responsibility that no longer we need to live the past. We need to live the future, and collectively we think together. So we want to be a proactive federation, deliver the new, sort of knowledge, new ways of doing it. But of course, it needs some time to change. But together, we're stronger.
Yes, but I have a question, because we want to be proactive. But how do you collect the issues that's being encountering by any society, any
You
society.
have the best communicator
Yeah,
here.
how do you collect this
Ffion
issue
can,
and then consider if it's really something we need to talk about right now, or we need to learn, or we need to solve? How do we do that? Yeah.
So if you want to get involved, we really appreciate that, because the wider the views and the more views we collect, the better. So the easiest way, go to the website, look at About Us, Our Work, and you find special interest groups. There's a trainees one for residents, but there are other topics. So there's critical care, geriatrics, pediatrics, technology, ultrasounds, quality and safety, a number of topics, whatever you are interested in, or join the trainees one if you're a resident. And then you'll have a voice, you come to the meetings, you'll see what we're trying to develop in terms of products, and then you'll be able to inform that process and make sure we get it right in what we send out and what we publish. So that's a really good place to get involved.
Yeah. So we have the national or national societies or regional become IFEM members, but the individual members also, you could join us through those committees, and that's where we voice or we hear the requests and the voices of the individual clinicians as well as the member organizations. We conduct a lot of meetings, like through ICEM 2024 here. We conducted so many meetings with our member organizations. We just finished a meeting with all virtual and in person. That's a platform to hear what they want us to go through and what they want to get from IFEM as well. But it's also it's a two-way communication. We need to learn from them what are their needs, what are their issues. So we become this representatives of them globally and hopefully with other specialties as well.
And we do send out surveys, and we try to support as many conferences as possible. And it's conversations, you're listening the whole time, so you start to realize what the issues are.
Okay, so I think just like your experience, many people they joined the IFEM through the ICEM.
Yeah.
And so except ICEM, what do you suggest the people to expect? How can they participate in this global community of IFEM?
So another easy way is to get the newsletter and submit pieces to the newsletter. And people love to read stories of what someone else is doing. So you can again go onto the website, start to register for getting the newsletter, and then you are able to post things in the newsletter. So if you have some interesting problems or a good news story or whatever, then you can just share it with the world.
Another idea is also something that we're going to come out soon, which is existing currently, but we're going to sort of set a process for it, which is what we've discussed as well yesterday, is a professional exchange program. So many other countries want to go and see other models of the world. So IFEM can facilitate this because we have over 70 members from many countries who can, and those are leaders of emergency medicine in their countries. So they can facilitate this very easily, and IFEM platform will be this exchange program a facilitator to share and chair that process. At the same time, this we feel will take the specialty into a next level because, as you mentioned earlier, it's very similar problems. So it's always nice to go and see how other people do practice in different communities. Many of our colleagues who visited your hospitals here are very impressed by the way emergency medicine is delivered, and I'm sure they're going to take this experience to their home.
We're all nosy people. We want to see what everyone else is doing.
Right, but I can proudly present that we are very good in delivery and efficiency, but the quality, the crowdedness is an issue. And right now we also suffer from the shortage of nursing, and we have to, because there's not many nurses there, so we have to actually shut down the wall. So that make the crowded of ER even worse. They just call me, because I'm the chief of the ER, they just call me that I have to stop the ambulance to sending patient for 2 hours so they can reorganize the crowdedness in the ER right now.
And if
Yeah,
I
and-
say you're not alone, that all over the world people are getting the same phone calls, it's kind of depressing, right?
Right.
But at the same time, you're not alone. So yeah, it's a huge problem. Staffing is a big factor. So we have to turn this positive. We just have to put some positive messaging out there.
Yeah, it's hard, but yeah, I just feel so good that you say we have to be positive. Yesterday, we actually talked to the head of the NHI, and he also gave us a message and trying to encourage us. We need to try. We will eventually find the solution.
Yeah.
But right now, it's very hard, and we want to keep the nurses stay in the ER and keep their passion for emergency medicine. It's very hard right now. It's a critical situation, I think, globally, because after discussion with many doctors over worldwide, it's the same. We have the same issue.
It is, but I could see from what the minister presented that the learning is being drawn from other countries, and there were slides to show that. So some of the things like hospital at home, none of these is like a magic bullet, right? You know, you don't solve the problem with one thing, but you just keep trying to solve every part of the patient journey. You try and improve it, and then you can start to see the efficiency.
And so till now, my conclusion is you don't just sign in ICEM, you need to sign in IFEM, because emergency medicine is a teamwork.
Together, we're getting stronger.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and we get stronger globally. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's also the responsibility of the future generation.
Yeah.
This is something, a message that I would like to share with everybody. It's just, emergency medicine evolves, but the way, as we talked earlier, emergency medicine is taught, and the way the younger generation now, I don't think they're willing to carry a textbook that we carried. So that's something. How do we deliver this information? But at the same time, at every community, we need to build that interest. Emergency medicine is not only overcrowding, it's not only short of staff, it's not burnout. There are so many amazing feelings that, when you get somebody with cardiac arrest and goes up and you see him, discharged, that's such an amazing feeling. You want to work your night shift to do that.
Yes.
You want to go on your weekends to do that. So that's by itself is such a rewarding feeling. And that's where a lot of this unfortunate negativity, makes us forget why we are there. What's the purpose of emergency medicine? This is truly saving lives. So we want to continue. We want to keep injecting a lot of positivity, making it very clear to everybody that yes, it's difficult, but also we do save lives as a system, not just sometimes as an individual busy department, but together we're stronger, and we work together as pre-hospital care, emergency nursing, and emergency physicians, and the bigger healthcare community. And the last is always a discussion internally. How do we as emergency physicians work with other, teamwork? Emergency medicine or emergency care is a team sport. How can we collaborate with our colleagues in nursing, emergency nursing, paramedics, and so on? So that's something will see hopefully in the future, that IFEM is aligning with the other specialties for the better of the emergency care as a whole.
Right.
So is there any expecting upcoming event for the 2 days later? You will be the president of IFEM.
We have so much in the horizon. It's actually all been planted over the years, not just the last 2 years, but from the previous boards, to be honest, have done wonderful job. IFEM is over 32 years old now, and with lots of, as I mentioned, leaders who started it. The first ICEM was in UK, 1984. So that by itself is, we've gone far into this, and I look forward with my team as a board. I look forward to continuing this amazing journey. It's the federation and the specialty that grows. We'll just be there for 2 or 3 or 4 years, but we'll leave, and somebody else need to continue that journey. But we have a nice strategy now. We're very focused. We know what we want and what we should deliver. And we see the momentum increasing. A lot of today was very encouraging meeting. We have many leaders worldwide attending the meeting. And that reflects the trust in IFEM as an organization. They do see IFEM is changing. Some organizations may not be productive, but IFEM have been productive over the years, and that's very encouraging for all of us. And it gives me personally a responsibility to continue this journey, especially after a great president who makes IFEM to really a next level. I want to make sure that I maintain it at least, or take it to another level higher.
There's a session on Sunday morning which may interest people. So it's You Heard It Here First, and it's for the presidents and the senior people from the regions around the world. It's I think it's a 1 hour, 20-minute session, but basically telling you all what they've done for the last year and what they want to do for next year, and what their challenges are currently in their region as an all around the world view. So look out for that. If you're still around on Sunday, please come and attend that, because you'll hear all the up-to-date information from the biggest leaders.
Yeah, I think it's a big opportunity that we host ICEM this time in Taiwan, and it's great to have the conversation globally with IFEM, with all the regional head to help us to increase to solve the problem. And I think that's a great opportunity. Thank you for you to join us.
And we feel actually after this talk, I feel more confident and more. I know my my identity is emergency physician, full of passion and love for the health, for the people, and also the whole medical system. Without emergency medicine, it cannot survive.
Yeah. And that's exactly the feeling that we want to feel it. We want you to feel it, and we want everybody listening to this podcast, but also engaging with IFEM to feel. That's something, this is the purpose of everybody waking up every morning, going to work or going at night for a shift, saying, you know what, I have a purpose in this life, and I can make a difference to those in need. And hopefully we can take it, as a specialty, as you said, from an identity and something we can share. And I'm sure this is in your own community as well, but worldwide, emergency medicine is very connected community. Unlike many other specialties in medicine, where you could see smaller groups, actually everybody is willing to share their work, which is very, very unique to emergency medicine, because everybody knows that it's a noble purpose. We do what we do for a noble aim and objective, and everybody want to contribute. So other societies and other member organizations, they're willing to share standards, they're willing to share policies, training material. All of this is open, and at the end we want to be a platform to provide that to everybody worldwide.
And as doctors, we draw that energy from each other, and that's why conferences are so successful. We talk to each other, we network, old friends, new friends, and you feel that warmth and energy, and then you take it back with you to face the next 20 phone calls like the one you just had.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you.
It's very
Thank you.
nice.
It's,
very nice talk, and I really enjoy it. Yeah, and I encourage all the younger generation to join in IFEM, not just ICEM. IFEM, it's our strong backup globally.
Go out from the country and join the global community.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Just look us up on the website and you can find a way in.
So it's ifem.cc. So that's our website. You can join, as Dr. Ffion mentioned, committee, SIGs, special interest groups, and being
Newsletter.
an active newsletter as well. There's so much, and most importantly, retweet. Get the message wider. Amplify what we do as well, and because it's for everyone.
We need influencers.
Yes, exactly.
Positive energy. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So thank
You're very welcome.
Thank you so
for
much.
your time.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye everyone.